Hello guys, so welcome to this video. So in this video I'm going to give you a brief introduction to serverless framework, and then we can see a small demo using serverless framework. So let's go to the introduction. So if you see my previous video called serverless and AWS serverless demo, so in this video I have created this infrastructure on AWS using AWS management console. So I have logged into the management console, then I created some components using services, and I did some configuration to those components on AWS management console, and then I have created the infrastructure on AWS manually using the AWS management console. But in today's world, we are talking about automation. Okay, so how about if we have a tool, like if we can do this creation of the infrastructure on AWS automatically? Indeed, we have. So we have infrastructure as code. So using infrastructure as code, you can automate the AWS infrastructure. So that means you can use these tools, and in these tools you have to write down the template. So in this template, you have to mention about what are the resources that you are going to use and what are the connection between those resources. Then finally, you have created this template, and then you are going to run this template. So when you run this template, it is going to automatically created the resources, created the infrastructure on AWS according to your template. So now you are not going to manually select the services and do the configuration using management console. Now you have infrastructure as code. So when it comes to there, so you can use this Terraform as well as AWS CloudFormation to automate your infrastructure. So using Terraform, you can automate the infrastructure not only AWS, also in many cloud providers, Google, Azure, likewise. But if you specifically look into the AWS, then you better to choose the AWS CloudFormation. It is your choice to whether you choose the Terraform or AWS CloudFormation. So using AWS CloudFormation, you can automate the creation of infrastructure on AWS only. So that's the key thing in here. Okay. So now you have AWS CloudFormation. Yeah. So using AWS CloudFormation, I mean using AWS CloudFormation template, you can create resources that your application need on AWS. So it doesn't matter whether you are going to building your serverless application or server-based application, but you can use AWS CloudFormation. But when you consider the building a serverless application on AWS, then you better to choose serverless application frameworks. Why? Why you have to choose serverless application frameworks? Because there is a biggest benefit if you use serverless application frameworks. The biggest benefit in here is developer productivity. So if you use serverless application frameworks to automate your AWS infrastructure on AWS, then you can it lets you build, deploy, and manage serverless application much faster with far less configuration. So when you consider the AWS CloudFormation template, you have to write down a lengthy template to create your infrastructure on AWS. But when it come to specifically come to when it if you want to build a serverless application, then if you are going to use these serverless application frameworks, then you have to write less. So you have to write less compared to the CloudFormation template. So then it is going to the serverless application framework is going to convert your template into the CloudFormation template. So CloudFormation template is very lengthy, but if you are using serverless application framework like serverless and like AWS SAM, so those templates are very short. So you can write less. So then this serverless application framework is going to convert your less code into very length CloudFormation template code. So that's why we are going to use these serverless frameworks. So if you can see in here, there are two serverless application frameworks. So first one is serverless framework, and second one is AWS SAM, which is you can create the AWS serverless application on AWS using AWS SAM. But if you want to create the serverless infrastructure on different cloud providers like AWS, Cloud, Azure, then you better to choose the serverless framework. Okay, so this is the architecture. So you have the serverless application frameworks, So using those frameworks, you can write down your serverless.yaml file. So then it is going to, the application framework is going to convert your serverless.yaml file into the AWS CloudFormation template file. So which is going to create your whole infrastructure on AWS. So that is what we are going to do in here. So let's go to the demo. So okay, so let's go to the demo. So I have added this my GitHub repository in the description. You can see it. So in there you have instructions to do this project. Okay. So first you have to you need a AWS account with administrator access, because in here we are going to create Lambda API gateways, and then we are going to create the DynamoDB table and the roles and with permissions likewise. So you need administrator access, and I am going to do this project to my backend using the Node.js. So I have to install the Node.js. And so the main thing in here is we need serverless framework. So that's the main thing in here. So you have to install the serverless framework in your localhost in your laptop. So the command is npm install -g serverless. Okay, then you have to configure your AWS CLI. Okay, so that I have already done it. So then if you want, you can clone the repository and get the code from there. Okay, now I am going to open a new folder called demo. So in this demo, there is nothing in here. So okay, first I have to create this application, serverless application using this serverless framework. So to do that, I have to type serverless. Okay, I press enter. So what is this going to do? So this is asking us if you want to need a template. Yes, it is asking. So I'm going to use Node.js HTTP API template in here. So name your project. So let's say this is serverless demo. Okay, so it is downloading your template. Okay, so it has downloaded, and now it is asking create a new app. Yes, so I want to create a new app. So my new app name will be demo serverless app. Nice. So it's checking credentials. Okay, it has created my app. So in here you can see there is a new folder called serverless demo. So this is the name that we have given. So in here you can see handler.js. So in here where you can write your lambda code in here, and also the main important file in here is serverless.yaml file. So if you can see this file, so this is the file that this framework is going to convert to the lengthy CloudFormation template. Yeah, okay. So now I am going to copy and paste my backend code, so you can get it that from my AWS repository. Okay, done. And also I'm going to copy the serverless.yaml file in here. Okay, so let's go to the handler.js. So in here, if you carefully looking into this, so I got this code from the serverless training. So there's a company called serverless group. So in that company there is a training course. So in that training course I got this code. So in this code, you can see we are going to using the CRUD operation. So create, read, update, and delete operation using DynamoDB table. So you can create items on DynamoDB and delete items on DynamoDB likewise. Yeah. So you have to use a DynamoDB table, which is serverless service on AWS, and you have to use the API gateway and Lambda as well. So three AWS serverless services. So in here, if you have time, so you can looking into this code. So it is about post, get, and put. These are the HTTP API calls, and then it is going to run these. It is going to call these functions, which is help to get all the users, get the users by ID, and delete users in the DynamoDB by ID, and also you can update it likewise, and you can also create the user as well. So you can create the items on the DynamoDB. So this is the small handler.js file. Okay, so let's go to our important files, the serverless.yaml file. So in here, if you can see, our provider is AWS. So I have already token, I have already discussed this with you. Like using serverless framework, you can have different providers like AWS, Azure, Google likewise. So you can create infrastructure on those cloud providers also. Yeah. So in here, I am using AWS. So you have to mention the runtime, you have to mention the region profile, likewise you can mention it, and in key thing in here is the function. So I am going to create the lambda function. So to that I have to use the API gateway, and these are the events. That means the API calls, the methods in API gateway, and I also created a DynamoDB table. So in here you can say I am creating a DynamoDB table. I am creating lambda functions, API.handler, and I also created the API gateway. So in here you can see my handler is api.handler, but my current file is named as handler.js. But if I looking into that, I can see my this const handler in here. So this should be API. Yeah, I should be rename this to API because now API, my file name is API and my const is handler. So now my servers.yml file is matching to that api.handler. Okay, perfect. So okay, I think all things are okay. So now I am going to run npm init. So okay, so to run the npm init, I have to go to the inside to my folder. So I am going to directory. So cd it is serverless demo. Yeah, okay. So I have run the npm init twice. So you can see it created my package.json file in here. Okay, nice. So okay, now I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to package this file to uh, create my AWS infrastructure on AWS. So to do that, I am typing serverless package. So this is going to package the build artifact that AWS infrastructure need. Okay, so that means if you can see in here the servers.yaml file. So when I type the servers.package, it is what is going to done by that command. So it is going to convert this serverless.yaml file into the corresponding CloudFormation template. So yes, so let's see. So in here, you should be able to see a .serverless folder. If I expand this one, you can see my CloudFormation template. Yeah. So in this CloudFormation template, if you carefully look into this, there are how many lines in here? There are 650 lines in this CloudFormation template. But in my serverless.yaml file, I have only the 72 lines. So which is why I can say this serverless framework is better to use. So it is easy to use because you just write down the 72 codes in serverless.yaml file using serverless framework. So when I package it, that means when I convert this serverless.yaml into the real CloudFormation template, which is need for the AWS infrastructure, then it is going to convert these 72 lines into the very lengthy CloudFormation template. So this is the CloudFormation template which is we need to create the infrastructure on AWS. Yeah, so it has created. Okay, done. Then I am going to deploy this one. Okay, then I am going to type serverless deploy. So it is going to deploy it. Yeah, so you can view it in the your AWS management console. So I am going to type. I'm going to choose CloudFormation. So in here, you should be able to see your stack in progress. Currently it is not. So let's go back to this one. So okay, so it is currently deploying. So that means it is packaging again. Okay, it is creating AWS CloudFormation stack. Now you can verify that in here. So in here, if I refresh the page, I should be able to see the this one. You can see that create in progress. So I click the stack and I can see the events that happening right now. So in here, yeah, you can see these are create in progress. It has already created these API gateway methods. Nice. So in resource section, you can see what are the resources that has been created and create in progress. So let's wait for the complement. completion of the stack. Okay, okay, so it has, you can see in here it is create complete. Okay, nice. So the stack has created. Okay, then we can verify it on. So let's go to the Lambda service to see our Lambda is created. Let's see. Yes, it has created. And then I am going to search for the API gateway. Let's see the API gateway as well. So in here it should be created. Okay, you can see it has been created. And also I am going to check the DynamoDB table. So these all the components are created by the serverless.yaml file. So it has converted into CloudFormation. Then it has used for create this infrastructure automatically on AWS. So I click the tables. In here you can see the table is in here. Nice. So I'm going to explore table items. So currently there is no item in here. Okay, we are going to add the items onto that. So to do that, we need the invoke URL from the API gateway. So if you click these stages, you can get the invoke URL in here. So not only that, if you go to the VS Code, it also display the endpoints in here. Yeah. So I am going to copy the endpoint. Okay, copy it, and I'm going to open my Postman, and I'm going to paste it in here. So currently, I am going to post it. I'm going to create a use on DynamoDB table. So to do that, I need a body. So I have already write down a body. It's in JSON format. I am going to copy it and paste it in here. Okay. So if you go to the API gateway, so in here you can see this is my invoke URL. So dev. So and if you go to the see my serverless.yaml file, so in here the method post is used for the create the use in DynamoDB table. So to do that, I am using users. So that's users as a part of the URL. So that's why I add the users into that URL. Okay, now I am going to send this one. So let's see. I got an error called internal server error because of why. So let's see why I got the error. So you can see the error if you are compatible with the CloudWatch. So because let me go to the CloudWatch. So when I invoke this URL using post method, so it is going to invoke my Lambda function as well. So when my Lambda function has invoked, then it is going to send all the logs into the CloudWatch. So you can debug your code using the CloudWatch. So I go to the CloudWatch and I click the log management. So my Lambda function name is SRE backend. So I have to see the log according to log inside that SRE backend lambda. So I search it. In here I can see the SRE backend. Nice. Okay, we have one log stream. If I refresh it, I should be able to see this is the error type. So in here you can see exception. Why this exception has happened? In here it says to load an ES module set type as module in the package.json. Okay, so I identify the problem because in here you can see in api.js file I am using import, yeah, import keyword. So that means I in package.json it not considered as common JS. The type is module. So I forget to tell you about this. So if you know the Node.js coding, then you know what I mentioned. So okay, now I am going to again deploy my code. Serverless deploy. Now I think it should be work. So now it is going to update the stack, not the creation, not the creation from the beginning. It is just going to update. So in here you should be able to see the update. So okay, you can see that updating AWS CloudFormation stack. So you can verify it also in here, CloudFormation. So if you refresh this one, you should be able to see update in progress. Yeah, nice. So let's wait. Okay, update complete. Okay, now I think it should be worked when I create this one. Okay, to verify before the invoke this URL, I want to go to the Amazon DynamoDB and I want to refresh this. See, are there any items? No items. Okay, now I am going to send this one. Okay, it has sent. Yeah, now I can see I got the 200 code response. So that means I should be able to see my items in here. Perfect. I can see my items in here. Yeah. So now I am going to add another item. Let's say use ID is 2. Oh, my name is not AJ. So it's called Shashan, and I'm going to remove these two. Yeah. And I'm going to add a like uh, favorite movie maybe. Yeah. Style Batman. Okay. So now I'm going to send this one. I got 200 response. Perfect. I'm going to refresh this one. Now I have two items. Nice. And I think all other methods are working. I'm going to get same this one. So I should be able to get all the items in here. Okay, I got the use ID 1 and use ID 2. Now I am going to get items by use ID, maybe one only. I send it. Nice. I get only one item that similar to the user ID one. Nice. So if I want to get the user ID two item details, okay, I got that one also. Nice. So this is a small demo in here. So actually you can mention, so when you deploy this one also you can mention like what is the stage you are building this environment. Like if you want to uh, deploy this application on the AWS in maybe, so what is our environment? We can see that in here. What is our environment? It is dev. So I'm going to deploy this application again in maybe production environment, let's say. And also I can mention the region also. So this region is US East one. You can see that in here. In US East one, I can see this stack. So now I am going to run the serverless deploy in region in US East 2 and name it as stage as production. So let's run this one. So okay, so it is creating my AWS CloudFormation stack. So I can verify it in here. So if I refresh in this here, I shouldn't able to see that now because I deploy that application on US East 2. So I have to change my region to US East 2. So in US East 2 region, I should be able to see that my new CloudFormation stack in progress. So in here it has completed. You can see it has changed the product. So when you go to the US East one, it says like it is in dev environment, but when we go to the US is 2, so it says it is in production environment. Yeah. So now you have a new API gateway and new Lambda function, and also new DynamoDB in another stage, like in another production environment, and as well as it is on another AWS region. So actually this is very helpful because if you consider in the if you're considering like creating the environment, the same infrastructure for the different environments from different profiles, then you can use this serverless framework efficiently because you just have to type this one. So if you need to deploy this application on prod, just type stage prod. If you need to deploy this application on another stage, then you name it and type hyphen hyphen stage then name of the environment. So likewise in same account in same region you can have the multiple environments on your same application, which is good for the testing, which is good for the all the testing things likewise. So that's the thing in here I want to explain. I think you got my idea and I am also learning. So if you have the recommendation or if you see some mistakes that I am doing, so I am available to discuss with you. So that's thing. Thank you.